WTF! WTF!
Bon qui, je m'appelle Ross Twiddell, your Cultaholic heavyweight champion, and welcome to all the WTF moments from a monumental episode of SmackDown Live. I haven't quite recovered just yet. This was a prime example of WWE being at their dastardly worst for the first hour of the show until we finally got to the final half hour where they were at their dastardly best. They dragged us through mountains and mountains and mountains and mountains of crap for the first hour of the show, made us feel terrible before you got that Gauntlet match. Kofi's going to WrestleMania. We're in the promised land with the candy floss and the pancakes and the Rusev naked on a chaise lounge with his Bulgarian brute hanging for all to see. What's happened? Last night's SmackDown Live was a roller coaster. That sign there reads, "I'm the face that runs the place," which means that John Cena was at last night's SmackDown Live scouting Kurt Angle ahead of their meeting on the grandest stage of them all. Point, please, everybody, at WrestleMania 35. Now you can sit there at home and go, "But Ross, you're a no-good bottom-feeding trash bag hack, and I don't care. Rain down on me, mammies and daddies." It makes complete sense, doesn't it?
Yep, I wrong. Yep, I wrong.
And next up we have Byron Saxton, who I personally believe has been absolutely fantastic during this entire Kofi Kingston thing, but this time he's absolutely perplexed that Kofi Kingston and the New Day have been treated like puppets by Vince McMahon. But Byron, you should know this is what Vince McMahon likes to do, because it's been in Vince McMahon's theme since before the turn of the millennium. Puppets will find their place in line. Go tie a stringer around your finger now, boy, cause it's just a matter of time, cause you've got gimmick infringement. Now, because I'm a world-class journalist with more sources than Weatherspoons, I have obtained an exclusive photograph of Lance Storm's reaction when he heard Xavier Woods on last night's SmackDown Live say, "Can we be serious for a minute? Look at him, man. He's gutted. But just for you, Lance, at this desperate hour, and to pay homage to your WCW character, all rise for the playing of the Canadian national anthem. So then we got the greatest hits from Vince McMahon himself, and my heart was filled with joy. We got a delightful shut up! We got Vince McMahon pretending to be a baby, and then we got a line that got me thinking that Vince McMahon is arse backwards and not all there anymore. He never was there, but you know what I mean. So Vince says to Kofi Kingston, "Kofi!" I'm not going to do that anymore. It hurts, Kofi. Your opportunities are over, pal. Go to the back and lick some beef or something, will you? But Kofi, while you're still here, damn it, you can have a WWE Championship match at WrestleMania if Big E and Xavier win a tag team match on your behalf. So in saying that Kofi's opportunities are over, Vince McMahon gives Kofi another opportunity, and not only that, gives him the night off in the process. Aye. Mistake, Corey. So then we move on to the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match out of nowhere, and I do not know where to dance or feed my goat. And during that match, Corey Graves piped up to say the following. You have to imagine that if Charlotte Flair is impressive enough tonight, you might see another rematch at WrestleMania from last year. But Charlotte's already got a match at WrestleMania. Was Corey Graves seriously suggesting that one of the WrestleMania main eventers pulls double duty on the night they are making history in their first ever women's WrestleMania main event? Oh, I know. I've got a big science test at school tomorrow. Just before that science test, I'll do another massive, really hard science test for no good reason whatsoever, just so I'm tired and feeling inadequately prepared for that real science test. Makes no sense, Corey. And then we have both big bloody Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips going twos up on the face fornicating the poo out of a line on commentary. They kept on questioning just how the corporately chosen heel Jezebel Bear Championship winning, tall, blonde, athletic, second generation Charlotte Flair could just get this SmackDown Live Women's Championship match. Have they been watching the last few months or what? It's clear for all to see, isn't it? Vince McMahon really fancies Charlotte Flair, and that hopeless romantic is giving Charlotte Flair the world just because he fancies her so much and wants to give her the beef. That's the story I've been told, at least. And then Charlotte Flair only went and bloody did it, didn't she? She won the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, which means, presumably, there'll be no SmackDown Live Women's Championship match at WrestleMania, and I don't know why any of you are surprised. WWE have told us all along there's only going to be one Women's Championship match on the grandest stage of them all, point at WrestleMania. The Women's Championship match this, the Women's Championship match that. They've put all their eggs in one basket, and in the same process, pissed right in Asuka's eyes. For months we've been sat here going, hello WWE, Asuka has no credible challenger. Are you listening? WWE, Asuka's not got anyone to face at WrestleMania, and WWE have remedied that by neglecting the woman completely, and I think that's bollocks. And not only that, but in the process of pissing in Asuka's eyes, WWE have also pissed in the eyes of Mandy, Sonya, Carmella and Naomi, shunting them to one side like it's 2013 once again, and once again I think that's complete bollocks. Forza the Women's Revolution, it's really good. Yeah. Now, of course, WrestleMania 35 will be remembered by WWE themselves, with them patting themselves on the back saying, oh, look at how progressive we are. Other big companies throughout the world, we're the best. We're so progressive. We're the best company in the world. You're not as good as us. Oh, we're great. But I hope that in the same history books, the utter disregard over half the women's roster has received so far in 2019 isn't forgotten as well, because that's been an utter disgrace. What they've done to Asuka and the rest of the SmackDown Live women's roster here has been utter bollocks. That is the end of it. They might as well unify the SmackDown Live and Raw Women's Championship, have one championship alongside the Tag Team Championships, because what they're telling us on last night's SmackDown Live is Asuka and the rest of the SmackDown Live Women's division is pretty worthless. But then you've got to think at the end of WrestleMania we're probably going to get that iconic shot of all four WWE horsewomen with all the gold in WWE, and from a marketing perspective and getting eyes on things that are important with the WWE logo everywhere and big diamonds and crystals. That would be quite good, wouldn't it? But they've sacrificed a hell of a lot for one picture. But at the end of the day, WWE have come up with their own massive mess here, a mess we pointed out time and time again, and the solution is just not good enough. It can save this somewhat by adding Asuka to that match and making it a fatal four-way, because, you know, Asuka's really good, and she doesn't deserve bollocks like this. She's got the legitimate reason, but I know that WWE will just play up the leg injury Asuka got on last night's SmackDown Live, forget about it for a few weeks, and that'll be that. What a load of bollocks there. Sorry for the rant, everybody. So with that utter bollocks still fresh in our minds, we get Kurt Angle's final ever SmackDown Live match, which is a bollocks tagline in itself, because we still haven't seen Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle, and that needs to happen next week, or I'll sacrifice a goat. Anyway, in Kurt Angle's last ever match on SmackDown Live, in Kurt Angle's last ever match on a brand where he was a leading light back in the glory days of the Ruthless Aggression era, it lasts 2 minutes 33 seconds before Randy Orton swoops in and causes the DQ, because sometimes, and I don't know why, WWE like crap in a massive nappy, take the mess that's inside that nappy and smear it all over our faces, laughing while they do so. I know Kurt Angle can't go for 10 to 15 minutes with people like AJ Styles anymore, but give them 5 minutes, let them have their greatest hits, ABBA Gold. But WWE at least give them the dignity of having a little match with a clean finish, because that's very nice, isn't it? Just the way the thing should be done. I know in the grand scheme of things, in Kofi and SmackDown Live and taking us down to the depths of hell before bringing us up to heaven with his win at the end of the night, but I didn't know that was coming when this happened, so it pissed me off, and it's a WTF moment, okay? Don't buy the sun. Primo Cologne, all of Sanity and Shelton Benjamin all on SmackDown Live at the same time in the flesh. Forget about the animals, there's not enough time, just save yourselves. The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh. But at least we finally know why these lads are never ever on WWE TV, because alongside being the best professional wrestler in this planet world, Shane McMahon is also like Buffalo Bill and has kept these men hostage inside of a pit. It makes sense, honest. But with Primo Cologne there on his own, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have got to wonder what Shane McMahon has done with the body, the perhaps corpse of Epico. But after all of the lies and deception that Curler McSweaty Bollocks has fed you over the past few years, stuff that hasn't fooled me, by the way, my mind is fearing the worst for Epico. And I know you're sat there at home going, Ross, you're talking bollocks just because you don't like Shane McMahon. He looks like an older, sweatier, more fitter version of you. I know that. But tell me why a series of WWE superstars who are never ever booked on WWE TV and therefore never get paid for those television appearances, because they never have them, would defend the honour and the well-being of the man who, in kayfabe terms, is responsible for them making appearances on WWE TV. He has got them brainwashed. Forget about Buffalo Bill, Charlie Piss and Manson. It's weird, isn't it, everybody? Curler McSweaty Bollocks is saying the exact same things he was as a baby face, but now he's a heel. They still make complete sense. It's almost as if he was a heel all along. Yes. As far as I can see, the only difference between baby face sweaty balls and heel sweaty balls is the fact that heel sweaty balls gets turned on by beating up old men. He was there on last night's SmackDown Live panting like a dog with foot and mouth. I can feel it in my car. I've got the best stiffy in the world, he just about said without actually saying it. But then we have the Miz, that poor naive little lamb who doesn't appear to understand how children are made, which is a WTF moment, considering he has a live one, and one that's coming on the way. So Colonel McSweaty Bollocks was stood there on the stage behind these people defending him, saying, well, Miz, young man, your dad created a massive mistake. Good pun, I appreciate it, when he impregnated your mother, and then Miz lost his bananas. Did he think that the stalks in the baskets were real? Did he actually think that we are lizard people shot out of the Earth's core before morphing into human beings? I would have understood it if Shane was stood there being a massive dirty man saying, you know, George bent your mother over, and then gave her a good scene to. But he didn't. He just said, George impregnated your mum. I can't believe I just said that, everybody. I don't understand why Miz was so upset when all Shane did was provide the best biology lesson in the world. Who the pissing hell are they? I mean, they look like they could be the son of Tex Ferguson and Chad Too Bad, but I've never seen them before. They're also really bad though. They lost in like a minute, so who cares? Sad, isn't it? Now, during last night's SmackDown Live, it wasn't made clear once that anybody on the babyface half of the SmackDown Live roster had been barred. From ringside, why the hell did nobody in that picture do anything about Sheamus and Cesaro, who are also called The Bar, which is why I said barred like that? Put a stop to the beatdown The Bar were doing. I don't know. Booting a TV right in the face, throwing and breaking bare plastic chairs. What the hell are Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan doing to those plastic things? Because they were breaking them and making them utterly useless, needless consumption, waste of resources, pair of massive hypocrites. Again we do this, Tommy Tom Tom. Why are we calling Eric Rowan the 7-foot protector of the new Daniel Bryan? Because when he stood next to the new Daniel Bryan, he's clearly not 7 foot tall, because Daniel Bryan is either 5'8" shoot or 5'10" worked. He's a very small man, and at 6'6", Eric Rowan is not 7 foot, because 6'6" isn't 7 foot, alright? And that's it for your WTF moments from last night's SmackDown Live, but we might as well go through it while we're here. That Gauntlet match, the Usos, the finish of the final fall, absolutely wonderful. They don't half overcomplicate things, but it finally looks like we're doing the right thing on the grandest stage of them all, point at WrestleMania, and I do fear for Seth Rollins, because we're not getting 3 big title changes at WrestleMania, and he's lost all of his steam, so I think he's going to be the one to lose out. But an infuriatingly great, in the end, SmackDown Live. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us.